Are you dealing with aggressive CRA collections? If the Canada Revenue Agency is threatening to freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, or put a lien on your home, you need to know your legal rights. In this video, we explain why the CRA is the most powerful creditor in Canada, and more importantly, how you can legally stop them in their tracks. I am Avatar Ira Smith. Right now, the real Ira and Brandon Smith are helping consumers and entrepreneurs deal with their debt problems. I am the president of Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc. We are a true family business. We are not for everyone, but if we take you on as a client, we will treat you with the utmost of respect, and you will always deal with a licensed insolvency trustee, not an assistant, not a clerk. I hope you can watch until the end of this video and you find the information helpful. If you have any questions whatsoever, either about this video or anything else at all, give us a phone call, shoot us a message. We would love to speak with you.
Okay, if you owe money to the Canada Revenue Agency, you need to stop what you're doing and listen. This is the one explainer you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Today, we are breaking down exactly what to do when the CRA comes knocking, using a fantastic guide from the experts at Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc. to show you the real path to tax debt freedom.
Let's just start with this, a powerful and honestly, a kind of chilling statement from our source material. We have to get one thing straight right from the get-go. The CRA is not just another bill collector. They are playing a completely different game with powers that no private agency could ever even dream of. Understanding what you're up against, that is the critical first step to getting out of this.
So, to even begin to tackle a problem with the CRA, you've got to understand what makes them so uniquely powerful. We're calling this section the CRA's superpowers. And trust me, that's exactly what it feels like when you're on the receiving end of their actions. All right, before we dive deep, let's lock in the 4 most critical points to remember. First, and this is a big one, the CRA does not need a court order to take action. Second, for you business owners, that corporate shield you think you have, it won't protect you. You can be held personally liable. Third, yeah, they might offer a payment plan, but that is not going to reduce your principal debt 1 penny. And fourth, the only legal way to actually reduce what you owe is through a formal process called a consumer proposal. Keep these 4 things in your head as we go.
And this slide, it just lays it all out so clearly. A regular collector has to go through this whole legal maze, right? They have to sue you, win in court. It's slow, it's expensive, and it gives you time to react. The CRA, on the other hand, they just skip all of that. They take the direct path. No judge, no court order needed to freeze your accounts or slap a lien on your house. That's what makes them so fast and so devastatingly effective.
So one of the CRA's scariest weapons is something called a requirement to pay. And believe me, this isn't some polite request. It is a legal demand that they send directly to your employer or your bank, ordering them to send your money. We're talking up to 50% of your gross pay straight to the government, all without ever seeing a judge.
And it doesn't stop there. They've got this other tool called a silent lien. The CRA can register a legal claim against your property, like your home, again, without ever stepping foot in a courtroom. This move basically freezes your most valuable asset, making it impossible for you to sell it or refinance until they get their money.
Okay, for all you business owners out there, listen up. This is huge. It's a concept called piercing the corporate veil. Normally, your corporation acts as a shield for your personal assets, but the CRA has the power to just punch right through that shield and hold you, the director, personally responsible for unpaid trust funds like GST/HST and payroll deductions.
And if you're thinking, how big of a deal is this really? Just look at this number. In a single fiscal year, the CRA resolved over $89 billion in outstanding tax debt. This isn't some side hustle for them. It's a massive, highly efficient, and totally relentless collection machine.
So when you're up against that kind of power, it is so easy to make a wrong move. Let's talk about the common myths and the dead-end roads that so many taxpayers go down, which only end up costing more time, more money, and a whole lot more stress.
This is the big question on everyone's mind, right? Can you just call up the CRA, have a chat, and negotiate a deal to pay less than you actually owe?
And the answer, let me be crystal clear, is no. You cannot. The collections agent on the other end of the phone might agree to a payment plan for the full amount, but they have absolutely zero authority to chop down the principal debt you owe. That takes a formal, legally binding process.
And you know, that kind of thinking is exactly what leads people into a massive trap. As our source material points out, so many people waste thousands of dollars on these unregulated debt consultants who make all these grand promises. But the reality is, these companies have no actual power over the CRA. They just charge you a ton of money for paperwork that's going to get rejected anyway.
Okay, so if all those common solutions are just dead ends, what on earth actually works? Let's pivot and talk about the legal, government-approved pathway that is specifically designed to solve overwhelming tax debt. And here it is, the absolute key to this whole thing. The only way to legally force the CRA to accept less than what you owe is by going through a government-licensed insolvency trustee. This isn't some secret loophole, this is the system, designed by federal law to give people a real way out. So a licensed insolvency trustee, they've got two main paths they can guide you down. The first, and by far the most common, is a consumer proposal. Think of it as a formal offer to pay back a percentage of what you owe over time. And the best part is, you get to keep your assets. The second option is personal bankruptcy, which is a legal process to eliminate most of your debts when a proposal just isn't financially possible.
And you know what's so powerful about this? Look at this chart. A full 80% of personal insolvencies in Canada are consumer proposals, not bankruptcies. This has become the #1 tool for Canadians to get out from under crushing debt, so there is absolutely no shame in it. Now, obviously, not every situation is the same. The right solution for you really depends on the kind of debt you have. This table helps break it down. Is it personal income tax, tied to your SIN? Or is it from your business? Things like unremitted GST/HST. Figuring out which column you're in is the first step to finding the right path forward.
All right, we've laid out the problem, we've found the real legal solution. So now what? Let's put it all together. This is your action plan, your path to taking back control and finally finding some financial freedom. It really comes down to a simple 3-step plan you can literally start today. Step 1, get clear. Log into the CRA's My Account portal and find out the exact up-to-date numbers. Step 2, get organized. Map out your household budget so you know exactly what's coming in and what's going out. And step 3, the most important step of all, get professional help. Talk to a licensed insolvency trustee. And that really brings us to the most important message of all. You do not have to, and frankly, you should not, try to face the CRA by yourself. A licensed insolvency trustee is so much more than an advisor. They are your legal shield. The moment you file with them, all collection actions have to stop. They become your expert guide through this whole process.
You know, this quote from our source material just sums it up perfectly. The clear path to a stress-free, debt-free life begins with a single, confidential phone call to a trusted, licensed professional. It's that simple.
Look, if this is you, if you're in this boat, taking that first step is everything. Our source for this entire guide, Iris Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc., specializes in these exact situations. Reaching out to a licensed professional like them for a free, totally confidential, no-obligation chat, that's how you stop the stress. That's how you start taking back control of your life.